I think I'm live. I'm not sure if I'm live, but if I am, what's up, everyone? And before we get started, this is a formal spoiler warning for pretty much everything regarding season 7. I'm mainly going to be talking about the plot leak, but just be warned. So yeah, let's get this thing started. Hey, look, first image is Lyanna Stark. I'm just checking to make sure my audio's playing. So just give me like 30 seconds if anyone's watching. Alright, so it sounds like everything's right. Alright, cool. So here we go. Welcome everyone. My name's Mark, and let's get this thing started. Alright, so episode 1. Now, I used to say when I made these videos back in, I think it was like November, when I did like the 3-part video series, I was like, take everything with a grain of salt. But at this point, I'm going to say a lot of this stuff is confirmed. So, be warned. Can't really take with a grain of salt anymore because, like I said, a lot of it's... Oh, yeah, so starting off with episode 1, the White Walkers will in fact be marching towards the wall. Bran is at the wall. He's taking up residence at Castle Black. Him and Dolorous Edd have met at this point, and they are, kind of discussing what their plans will be and what's going on. And then supposedly it cuts to, this is supposed to be in episode 1. So it cuts to Sansa and Jon while they're up north, I guess. The whole episode will probably focus on what's going on up north. Honestly, I'm excited about that because I know we kind of know what's going to go down with Daenerys. But yeah, so anyway, Sansa and Jon will apparently have a disagreement on what to do with, the lands that the Karstarks and the Umbers, the people who betrayed them last season, what to do with the lands that they formerly owned. Sansa wants to give them to the houses who actually stayed in line and still represented for House Stark, and Jon thinks that they should remain the way they are, and the children of the Umber and the Karstark shouldn't be held responsible for what their parents did, which honestly I can agree with both of them. You know what I mean? They're both right. Let me hop in this chat and see if anybody is here. What's up, Little Red Fox? What's up, Tadpole? I like those names. But yeah, so this is episode 1. Let me get back on track here. That's pretty much all that the plot leak has had. Of course, we have some confirmations. Let me see what the screen show's playing. All right, so yeah, skipping ahead a little bit, this is episode 3 right now. What's going on in this picture? It's Jon and Daenerys. This is the first time they meet. This is supposed to be a Dragonstone. So Jon has already, I guess, had his disagreement or argument with Sansa. They figured it out or just kind of left it hanging. And Jon found out he supposedly gets a letter from Daenerys saying, I'll help you if you come help me or whatever. So he goes up there and he meets with her, and then she kind of sends him off. I imagine this image right here will be something pretty similar. Maybe a few less men with him. He might leave Winterfell pretty well guarded. So, but yeah, continuing. All right, so I guess in episode 2 we'll backtrack a little bit. Well, let's see what this is gonna do. Let's see what the image slideshow is gonna do. All right, so yeah, episode 2. Jon, like I was just saying, receives word via Raven that Dany is summoning the Lords of Westeros. Obviously not the Lannisters. I don't think she's gonna bother even sending. She might. Shit, I don't know. Jon leaves Sansa in charge of Winterfell, and he leaves Ghost there with her. Honestly, Ghost probably would have stayed anyway. He likes to disappear. He likes to go ghost. Later on, Jon and Davos will in fact arrive at Dragonstone. Tyrion takes them to the throne room. Dany and Jon officially meet, and I think that will probably be one of the greatest moments in television. Or it could be seem very Hollywood. I don't know. What do you guys think? If anyone's watching right now, what do y'all think? Do you think Jon and Daenerys' meeting will be will it meet expectations, or because we have such high expectations for their initial meeting, will it be kind of like a big letdown? Let me know down in the comment section if you are watching this live, or if you watching it live now, let me know in the chat box. Speaking of chat, let me hop in there real quick and then we'll continue. I'm probably only going to be doing this for maybe 30 minutes total. I want to do like 2 of these, so I don't want to talk about everything in this one. And continuing with my House Stark videos, real quick, if you haven't already done so, please slap a like on this video. But continuing with my House Stark series, there will be my video on Jon in season 7. It'll be up in a few days. I can only work on it like an hour a day, and it probably takes me like maybe 6 to 7 hours to make a video total, with all of my like getting spaced out and sidetrack stuff. So yeah, like I work on it like maybe 1 or 2 hours a day, 1.5 maybe. But yeah, so anyway, let's see where we're at in the slideshow. Yes, so these are all images, leaked from Watchers on the Wall, and this is probably when I think it's like episode 4 is when Jorah is supposed to make his way there after somehow being in Old Town and finding help, being helped by Sam to find a cure for his grayscale. All right, so I have this. I have a list basically of all the main points, and I think that's just what I'm gonna pull up. I'll just pull up that list, and then we can just talk about the highlighted list. The highlights of the season is what I meant to say there. Alright, so we have Jon meeting Dany at episode 3. He is summoned by Dany, who wants him to bend the knee, but of course he refuses. Eventually, with help from Tyrion, basically, like, Jon has a little bit of a history with Tyrion, so Tyrion's going to be the one who ultimately convinces him. He then swears his fealty in exchange for help in the War for the Dawn. Sansa realizes she's being played by Littlefinger. Basically, he tries to set up her and Arya, and by the end of the season, with help from Bran, Littlefinger hopefully won't survive. And I say hopefully because this is a plot leak, so we don't know for sure, but I hopefully want him to die. I do want him to die, but hopefully he does die. Arya will supposedly be the one to execute him, and if that happens, well, that's fucking amazing. Both Sansa and Arya will survive. Now, Arya officially, she kind of unofficially but officially confirmed it. I talked about this in, I think it was my last video. Yeah, my Arya video. Yeah, basically, oh yeah, by the way, for anyone who was wondering why that was edited so quickly, well, you can just read the comment section. There was like 2 people who caught on to it, but yeah. Basically, I edited out too much of me breathing, so it sounded like it was just one giant breath, and a lot of people were like, oh, dude, you drink a lot of coffee. Nah, just, like I said, I won't, yeah. But anyway, so yeah, Arya's supposed to kill Littlefinger. Hopefully that does happen. Arya will become a killing machine. First thing she does this season is, okay, so this is catching back up with Arya before she arrives at Winterfell, when she's still at the Twin. She kills supposedly the rest of the Freys. After she head towards Winterfell, she encounters Nymeria, and then she gets to Winterfell by episode 4. Dorne will be out, like pretty much the first couple episodes. The wall will fall by the end of the season, and Jon and Dany will have sex. Oh shit, we got a celebrity in the chat. What's up, Talking Thrones? How's it going, buddy? Yeah, I just sent you a message on Twitter. Cool, you got it. Awesome. But yeah, so if you guys don't know who Talking Thrones is, make sure you go subscribe to his channel. Go check him out. He makes Game of Thrones content. But yeah, so okay. So let me ask you guys, or how eventful do you think the meeting between Jon and Dany will be? Do you think it will be like a big letdown, or do you think it will be more like it will live up to its expectations? Nice. Just got the DM. All right, but yeah, so let me get back on task here. I got sidetracked. All right, so yeah, if we look at the slideshow right now, this is a picture of Jon, and this is supposedly at the point where he heads up to go find a living White Walker to bring back to show the lords and lordesses. Yeah, that's right. I just made up a word. To show the lords of Westeros, the White Walker threat is real. You guys shouldn't be worried about these petty squabbles. We need to all focus all of our efforts on saving Westeros, and then we can decide who gets to rule it, And that's what they're doing. Supposedly, Jorah does not survive this this little trip, this expedition north of the wall. Yeah, I think it will too. That's the thing. This is dangerous. Like, it's dangerous to read all these. I'm responding to the chat, by the way, if you're watching this, later on and you're wondering what the hell I'm talking about. I'm responding to the chat right now. This is from another YouTuber, Talking Thrones. Once again, go check out his channel. And he was saying that he thinks it will be a little bit unsatisfying now that we know, it's going to happen. And that's definitely the case. That will definitely take away from it, but I think it will help a little bit because, we're still 6 months away from pretty much getting to that point. I don't even think the show will air. We probably won't be seeing the first episode at least until May. So maybe like the second week of May, second or third week of May, at least by June. Hopefully by June 1st we've had the season premiere. But anyway, so hopefully you can kind of forget for the most part, but it does get pretty. I think the fact that just even knowing, that the fact that Jon and Dany are going to meet is, like he was saying, like Talking Thrones was saying, it's going to ruin it. All right, so yeah, continuing. These, okay, I should have probably read this first, but I pulled all of these from, like Reddit. Someone had compiled them in a list. So, it says Viserion will die at the Night King's hand and be reborn as his mount. I've talked about that a little bit before. I kind of hope that doesn't happen. That would seem a little bit too Hollywood for me. It's one thing if Bran works him, which I'm not a big fan of, but if he's like killed and then reanimated, honestly, I think that's just a little bit, maybe it's because I like the dragon so much and I don't want them to die. You said your connection, is it your connection or is it, I'm going to check on the stream health real quick. So give me like 30 seconds. I'm going to come back. I'm going to turn my mic off real quick. Oh, we got 8 people watching. What's up, everyone? Shout out to Andy Perkins. What's up, dude? Haven't seen you in a while. What's up, Brian? Good name day, everyone. What's up? Go ahead and slap a like on this video if you haven't. Also, go check out All right, so we have an orange stream health. So maybe it is me lagging a little bit. I've been live, I think, for like 15 minutes now. Maybe 14. 10, not very long. I haven't gotten warmed up yet, which is why I'm like all over the place. But I'm gonna focus, and we'll get some of this stuff discussed. But yeah, going back to what Talking Thrones was saying, he said, but then again, most people knew this would happen from the books, and it still will be amazing to watch. The whole thing is it's just, I don't know. I feel like because we're only getting 7 episodes, and I realize it's because we don't have another book to kind of give us the extra material they would need. I feel like that's what's going to make everything seem like a big letdown, because it'll seem like super rushed. Like, according to this plot leak, the shit is going to be fast the whole season, which is a good thing. But then again, you got to think, like, they're going to burn through, the most exciting parts. And then when we get to the series finale, season 8, like episode, what is it? 5 or episode 6. I don't know how many episodes for season 8 they're gonna be doing, but it's still up for debate. But by the time we get there, we're gonna burn out of all the best parts. So it's kind of like a win-lose situation. I'm excited for it, but then at the same time, like, how much greater can they get in some of the events that are described? Like, supposedly Daenerys makes it to the point of fighting the White Walkers this season, and the wall comes down. And before that, Jon and Dany meet, and then we have like almost all of the rest of the remaining Starks are together. Like, how good of season 8 is it going to be? Like, what is it just going to be? One giant war, and they just combine it into like 3 or 4 hour-and-a-half long episodes? Even then, that still, there's hopefully by the time season 8 comes out, we will get the Winds of Winter. If that if that happens, then I'll it'll restore a little bit of my faith in season 8. But I honestly think season 7, if all this stuff does happen from the plot leak, it will be as good as it gets. Like you can't really get any better than that. I can't, me personally, I can't see it getting any better than that. But so this picture right here, so let me jump back onto the slideshow thing. Once again, shout out to everyone in the chat. How's everybody doing? But yeah, so this is where we have, after Jon and Dany have met, Jon has supposedly he's told everyone, what's happened, and they kind of don't believe him, so he's got to go capture a White Walker, or a White, live, and bring it back to show everyone. And Daenerys, she's down. I feel like the plot leak goes by, she's like, yeah, she'll see it when she believes it, kind of, but I feel like everyone's going to be a little bit, well, maybe not Daenerys, she's got dragons, so how can she, obviously, you've seen some shit, you should believe that, that's a possibility, but the plot leak says that Cersei, at first, is like, yeah, you go get that White, bring it back and show me, and then we'll help you, and then she supposedly tells, Jaime that she just plans on telling Jon that, and then when he actually comes back, she's gonna ambush him and kill him. So we'll see about that. But yeah, so it's definitely going down. Jon and I can't tell if that's Dan or Dave in this picture right here. But yeah, so let me jump back on this list. All right, so we got Gendry is at King's Landing making weapons. Davos makes a joke about him still rowing when he sees him. It's like little things like that. That just makes me think this whole thing is like a sham until you go and you look up some spoilers and you see. Little shit like this, though, hopefully that's not written in there. That would honestly make me mad. It would make me mad like last season when it didn't make me mad. I was just kind of like, really, dude? This is, that was like a South Park joke what they did where, I think you guys know what I'm talking about, where it was another YouTuber who does like impressions, Game of Thrones impressions, he was on, and it was like the scene right before the Hound showed up and chopped, he had his finger stuck up his butt, like little jokes like that, that's a little bit too cliche. And if Davos does in fact say, oh, I thought you were still rowing this whole time, like, yeah, like whatever, wouldn't enjoy that as much. I kind of be like, oh, you guys really did that? It's kind of corny. If they did it another way where he was like, I can't even think of a way right now that it would be funny, but to mention that somehow, but I don't know. We all know that that's what they're thinking. So, Olenna acknowledges that she was behind Joffrey's assassination. So this is jumping around a shit ton, but at one point in the season, Olenna is at Highgarden and she's cornered, and Jaime comes in and she basically confesses to Jaime that she was the one who killed Joffrey, and Jaime allows her to drink poison and kill herself. That also sounds a little bit crazy, but we do know that there are some Highgarden and Lannister action, and there's going to be a war, or a battle, sorry. Supposedly, the red-haired girl that I said was, I can't remember who I said she was, but I definitely was like, she's definitely not one of Tormund's daughters. But yeah, she's a Karstark. Apparently, she's Alice Karstark, I don't know. Apparently, we will get a flashback from Rhaegar and Lyanna's wedding, which will be, it was never mentioned in the books, so this will be completely new territory. So how they handle, obviously, the Rhaegar casting has to be perfect, but, we've already seen Lyanna. That's why I didn't say Lyanna's casting had to be perfect. I don't really know, if it is a perfect casting. As a kid, yes, but the Lyanna that we saw in the Tower of Joy, she didn't do anything other than die, so we don't really know if that's a good casting. And hopefully they don't recast it, but they probably did because they recast Dick and Tarly, so they probably recast Lyanna. I'm not sure. I haven't been following with the spoilers enough to say so yet. But if they handle Rhaegar and Lyanna's wedding the correct way, like maybe if they pop open a world of ice and fire and maybe see some little bit of back. Honestly, George is supposed to, he wants to write a complete book about all the Targaryen history. And if that was out, they could do the wedding proper justice. But I think that if that actually does happen, it's going to piss a lot of people off. And mostly, those people that are going to be pissed are, like, true book readers. And when I say true book readers, I mean people like, the people over at Hypes Watch, like they've read the book. Every last one of them has read the book probably like 7 times, and they can honestly recite to you like individual chapters and page and like what goes down on that page. You know what I'm saying? So that's the type of like fan that is probably going to disappoint, because they're not going to. I don't think Dan and Dave are equipped to handle that correctly, and it's gonna upset a lot of people. I think it's gonna piss off more people than it's gonna make happy, because the casual show watcher is not really gonna be able to relate to it too much, because honestly they don't really know any fucking back history other than the flashbacks we got back in season 7 of these 2 characters, so they won't be able to relate to them as much. And also it just, it will seem like very Hollywood-esque if that's shoved into, a 6-episode period where one episode or half the episode it's a huge battle, and then they cut to Bran and Winterfell flashing back to, Rhaegar and Lyanna's wedding. Now, they have done a flashback another way. It would be interesting. I have a question. That's what I want to know. You guys in the chat right now, and anyone watching this later, how do you think we'll receive if we do get let's say Attorney at Harrenhal flashback and Rhaegar and Lyanna wedding? How do you think will be delivered the flashback? The obvious choice would be Bran, Weirwood Tree, hooked up Weirwood Net, flashback action, or it could be who the hell would have been present that's alive right now at Rhaegar and Lyanna's wedding. So it pretty much will only be by Bran's. I'm pulling that question back, because now that I thought it through. Let me hop in this chat and see what's going on over here. It's skipping. Damn. Let me look at the stream health. I don't know why no one else is on my internet, and I'm literally using a wired connection. I bought a 50-foot Ethernet cable, and I have it plugged it directly into my. I think the issue must be something with like my settings or my configuration in OBS. It's got to be that. Maybe it's caught up now, and like it's just a little bit of a delay. And yeah, Howland Reed, I like that. Howland Reed could totally be the one. Well, nah, I don't think so. I don't. There's no way, because he was with Ned. Yeah, no, he was with Ned. Rhaegar and Lyanna would have eloped. It would have been like super private. Like the only person who would have been there would have been the handmaiden. And if somehow she's alive and she just works herself into the show, I'd be pissed straight up. Like, nah, I would not enjoy that. They'd just be like, come on, dude, you guys are fucking reaching. That's like super reaching. I'm gonna grab some water real quick. I'll be right back, and I'm also gonna check on my audio. So, give me 2 minutes. Alright, so I didn't hear anything messing up on my end. Maybe it just lagged out for a second, and then hopefully when we get back to it, it'll re-render. So supposedly this is John taking off to go try to catch a live White Walker. Well, damn, if it's lagging out like that, I'm going to cut this short and then just, like, work on the video some more and try to include some of this in the video. Yeah, it's red. Stream health is red. Oh, so you're saying... Brian Wentworth says, as a flash, when you were saying Howland Reed, you were talking about Howland would be mentioning the attorney at Harrenhal, not Rhaegar and Lyanna getting married. That I could see for sure. Is the audio still bugging out? I'm not sure. I meant to tweet this. If you guys have a Twitter, could you tweet this? Tweet this live stream for me? Let's get back on track. I'm just going to assume that the audio has fixed itself, and hopefully it has. All right. So we have Varys will somehow be handed the opportunity to talk about whether he wants the throne or not, and it says that it's revealed he's genuinely acting out of a desire to have a king or queen rule that will look out for the interests of the people of Westeros rather than their own, which he's been preaching the entire time. So if someone who's as sneaky, as manipulative, well, okay, I wouldn't say he's that, but he's pretty manipulative, not on like Littlefinger level, but he's got, various little spies. So if that's proven to be true, that would be awesome, because you have someone who would be like a Ned Stark type of person with, they may go about their ways of handling shit differently, but they're honorable at the end of the day because they do want to better Westeros, and they're not trying to just have all the power of someone like Littlefinger, you know what I mean? Beric Dondarrion supposedly gets killed by a White Walker, which, if you're familiar with him, not a big deal, but he might actually have to bring back someone else. I wanted to talk about that in part 2, so I'm not going to bring that part up. But apparently Beric Dondarrion will be killed by a White Walker. Benjen will make a cameo. I hope the way that it was said in this plot leak, the way that Benjen makes the cameo, I hope that doesn't happen, because honestly, that would be pretty fucking corny. Like, he would basically do the same thing he did last season, show up out of nowhere, And honestly, I guess it wouldn't be out of nowhere. It could be in relation, like he's tracking down the movements of the White Walkers, I guess, to see whether they're getting close to the wall or not. And, he just so happens to notice, hey, there's my fucking nephew. Let me follow him too. Let me go save another nephew. But yeah. I think I skipped over those. All right. So Jorah won't have any scenes at Essos next season. He will be cured by Sam at the Citadel, and by episode 5 is when he reunites with Dany. So how did a GIF of Euron get thrown into the slideshow? I guess we could talk about Euron now since I looked over here. All right, so it sounds good. Or it's actually working now? Awesome. That's weird, because I jumped back to check the live stream health, and it's gone red again. All right, so I'm thinking that's another thing I wanted you guys' opinion on. How do you think Jon will handle, like, knowing that once he does find out? I hope he does. Before he actually dies and kicks the bucket for, we'll say, either the last time or the final time. Who his parents are, or who his actual parents are, whether it's Ned and Lyanna, or Lyanna and Rhaegar, I hope he actually finds out. Will Euron have Dragonbinder this season? This question's from Talking Thrones. Nope, I don't see that happening. I see Euron's Dragonbinder as a metaphor for his like, what that image is probably up right now for you guys. It was the image of Euron grabbing his dick. That's probably what his Dragonbinder will be on the show, is he thinks that he's so good with, in the ways of the women, that he'll be able to, like, finesse Daenerys, sleep with her, and be like, all right, you're going to be my slave now, because, I'm going to lay down the D. I'm going to lay down some pipe. I don't see that happening. It would just be that, it would be so fantastical. Like, we'll say this is, like, super fantasy if that were to all happen, like a zombie dragon, and the wall coming down, Jon and Daenerys hooking up, and then Euron's got this horn that can basically bend, the dragons to his will. That's just too much. And one of those things that I've been a big fan of is, like, I thought that the horn of Jormon the Night's King actually had that, and he was going to be the one to blow it into. Okay, so these are two separate things, but I thought that the one horn that was going to be brought in on the show was going to be the horn of Joramun, like the horn that brought down or supposedly brings down the wall. I don't think that Dragonbinder is going to be brought into play. I think that Euron might. Oh look, it's back at Euron again. What the? Yeah, he may do that. I don't know. I don't know if he. It's hard to tell, man. Because I wish if they recast anyone, they would either give him more screen time or just like kill him off quickly. You know what I mean? And replace his scenes with someone else who we actually have had a history with, because there's such precious time on the show. Like if he did have Dragonbinder, that means that he would probably take up. Out of all of the only 6 episodes we have this coming season, he would take up probably like a full, 45 minutes of screen time explaining where he got Dragonbinder from, and then giving him that whole episode. And honestly, I was disappointed by the Kingsmoot, so I would hate to see our precious screen time wasted on someone, who's lacking all types of, we don't feel a connection to him. So there hasn't been any sort of character arc or character development with him. They should have brought him in, back when the last time we saw the Greyjoys. But what was it, 2 whole seasons we went without seeing the Greyjoys. I feel like if we had, if he was brought in earlier, maybe the end of, at least even the end of season 5, because then we could be like, okay, well, he's had time to grow into his character. They've had time to write him into the whole season, and then not just cut to the Ironborn on episode 3 or 4 or whatever it was. So, and then we spend 15 minutes with him, and then we catch up with him again in 2 episodes. I feel like they had laid the groundwork to bring his character in for a while. Maybe had done some mysterious shit, back in at the midway through season 5, flash to the Greyjoys, and we found out what was going on just a little bit with them, and then brought him up, or maybe cut to him in the middle of one of his actually on the adventure to get Dragonbinder. They just showed maybe a little clip of it, and they showed Ironborn sales, so the average show watcher would know, okay, so he's an Ironborn, he's somehow related to that, and then brought it back and mentioned him again at the end of season 5, and then when we saw him in season 6, it would be like, oh, okay, so he's been developed for a little bit, he'll fit into the show. If we do have to spend our last hang on a second, excuse me, I'm gonna turn my mic down. If we do have to have our last, precious screen time with someone like him, we at least have had the groundwork laid, or the seeds laid for his character to be like, all right, well, I like this dude. And obviously he has the Greyjoys, the Ironborn, they have a lot of fans in the books. I'm not a big fan of the Ironborn just because they steal shit, and they're rapers. They like to reave. So I like pirates, but not like Ironborn style piracy. Ironborn kind of fuck everything up sometimes. Yeah, okay, this is Talking Throne says, or John Dixon was referring to what I was saying about Benjen, I think. I forgot to look at the chat, sorry. He says, Benjen is still a ranger after all, saying, yeah, he's still basically tracking the movements, doing his rangerly duty, which is awesome, because he continued it into the afterlife. Much like how John did for a little bit, and then he was like, my watch has ended. Actually, he kind of never wanted. Yeah, what the fuck am I talking about? When he came back, he never wanted to be. Yeah, they kind of forced him to do it until he did, or until he's gonna leave. Talking Throne says, I feel like something needs to happen to the dragons, otherwise Daenerys is too. Yeah, something's got to get. I did a video back before season 6 started. It was almost a year ago, and I was talking about how I think one of the dragons are gonna die just because there's too many of them. She doesn't need 3. You know what I mean? And I thought the way that it was gonna happen was similar to, I want to say, basically the events that caused the Blackfire rebellions. I'm gonna fuck up the names. Queen Rhaenyra had her dragon. You know about this. Queen Rhaenyra had her dragon in a dragon den, and the citizens of King's Landing at the time were hyped up, and they went and killed her dragons that were kept in the den. I thought something similar would happen to that with Daenerys, and I was saying, like, in the tower, in the pyramid with Meereen, the citizens of Meereen, or the Harpies, are going to come and kill her dragons while they're in the basement, like basically block them in. And honestly, I think that can still happen because they were filming at the Dragon Pit. So if they are filming at the Dragon Pit, there's a chance that since, history repeats itself, that same thing can happen to her. I don't know how well of a structure will be maintained, and I don't think her dragons are going to be in any kind of enclosure, but I think she may, something could happen potentially without them being reanimated. I think that definitely one of her dragons, one if not two of them, I think they'll all be dead by the end of the show. It'll almost be like what would happen to planet Earth if all the nukes were taken out. So that means like the nukes were all removed from everyone. Like basically no one could blow up the world. So you'd all be forced to get along. So I think that's what's going to happen. Like by the end of the series, all the dragons are going to be dead, and that'll be like part of the bittersweet ending. But maybe Daenerys will still be alive, or there'll be maybe like 2 or 3 characters that we all, you may not like them, so what, but you're glad to see them alive because we've lost so much. So with that being said, I think that that's what's going to be like a huge sacrifice for Daenerys, or for us. We're going to see all of her dragons die. So basically when they die, magic's going to die. So Bran will die with that because he won't be needed anymore. And, he'll still be needed, but I don't know. It's just like, we're getting... Basically, I see all the dragons dying by the end of Season 8 just because that would completely remove, like the nuclear power. Daenerys won't have ultimate say-so. It will force for new laws and new government to be established. And that could be similar to like our world history, when we got rid of the monarchy. Or I guess Europe still has monarchy, but it's like okay, I don't want to fucking speak. I don't exactly say, but I do know that in London, the Queen is like a title. She can't like make any laws, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure if you like tried to mug the Queen, you would get fucked up and thrown in jail. But I'm saying like the Prime Minister is like the president over there, pretty much. So yeah. Speaking of president, fuck Donald Trump. Like, did anybody catch that? He signed that. I don't want to get like basically he. Oh man. Watch out for your national parks. Go visit them now while you still can. But yeah, checking over to Talking Throne says, I agree, they fucked Euron's character. Hell yeah. In the novels, almost like 4 or 5 characters on the show that are either dead or still alive now are so much better in the books. So much better in the books. Gecko says, oh, you were live, haven't seen you in a while. I want to say hello to what's up, everyone? Gecko says hello. Real quick, if you haven't already done so, slap a like on this video. And it's kind of like all over the place, which is why I initially had only planned on talking about episodes 1 through 3. Then I was going to do 3 episodes on part 2 of my live stream. Hopefully, Talking Thrones will be able to join me for that, or I'll be able to join him, or we'll get something worked out. But yeah, if you guys already haven't done so, go subscribe to his channel. Go check out his Game of Thrones content. Yes, we have... Brooke Arnold says, I'm new to Game of Thrones. This will be my first season watching the episodes as they come out. I started with Battle of, and then I got cut off. I'm going to assume, Bastards. Watched the finale and then went back and watched seasons 1 through 6. My question is, are there usually this? Hell yes. Every season. There's this website, and honestly, like, I'll stop talking about spoilers real quick just so, you don't get anything too ruined. Or honestly, there are some people who don't really care, and they just want to watch it. They just, want to know as much information as they can. And that's how I was last season, and I'm kind of hesitant. But obviously, I'm like that again, or I wouldn't be hosting this live stream. But yeah, before I get too sidetracked, so yeah, hopefully, me and Talking Thrones, we got something planned out. Oh yeah, and also Kyle from Kyle's Fucking Chicken. I always say that, Kyle's Fucking Chicken. Kyle's Fucking Chickens, and I believe Don Wille, Bend the Knee. He's working on something with everyone, so hopefully we can have one of those live streams coming. It'll probably be like, I don't know, maybe in a few weeks or something. But yeah, if you guys haven't already done so, go subscribe to his channel. So back to what Brooke was saying about, yes, there are usually plot leaks every season. There's this website called Watch on the Wall which honestly, that website is kind of single-handedly responsible for me making a channel. Like when I made my channel last season, I did it probably like 4 months before the season started, and some of my like most popular videos were just doing leak. There was a plot leak last season. Oh, it was way fucking worse than this season, but the plot leak for season 6 was horrible, but I did videos on that, and that's how I kind of grew my channel. And then by the time the show came around, started reviewing it. So to answer your question, yes, there are always leaks to the show. Now the only way to truly avoid them is to honestly to stay off of YouTube and like Reddit. If you can avoid Reddit though, if you can avoid like the Song of Ice and Fire Reddit and a few of the other Game of Thrones subreddits, you'll be safe. But really, there's probably like 5 or 10 channels on YouTube, Game of Thrones channels that talk about spoilers. So be forewarned. Talking Throne says, I agree, all the dragons will probably die and most of the magical stuff will be gone. Never mind, you just... Hell yeah, we're on the same page, man. We're on the same page. Gecko says, as long as children lives, magic cannot die. Wait, what do you mean? Is that from Game of Thrones? That's not from Game of Thrones. As long as children lives. I know you're not talking about the children of the forest because they're all gone, so you're just being silly. Trump wife is from my country, 30 kilometers from you. Trump, where is Melania from? Yo, I should know this. Ukraine? I don't know. She's not from America, I will say that. There's nothing wrong with the First Lady not being from America. I was just saying, like, she's not. I know she's not from here. With a name like Smuckers, it has to be good. I'm just looking at the stream health. Anytime you hear me go silent, I'm checking the stream health, and it's like between an orange and yellow color, so that probably means that the audio cut out between here and there. We're approaching up on that wrap-up time. Maybe we'll do like another 10 minutes. Slovenia. All right, cool. Does anyone have any thoughts on how much screen time? One thing that's not mentioned too much in the plot leaks, other than them hooking up, is Missandei and Grey Worm. How much screen time? I think Grey Worm, if that does happen, if he does sleep with Missandei, he's going to die right after that. Because that'll be his big moment. He was introduced into the show as being a badass warrior, but be honest, the real thought everyone had in the back of their head was, dude's got no penis. Hopefully, if he becomes a main character, one day he'll get laid. And that will be his big arc. Is like, yeah, he'll be a gentleman, and, he'll learn how to speak English, and, learn right. Well, he already knew right from wrong, but basically just be shown a good life for a little while, get to sleep with, the love of his life, and then he'll be killed. He'll probably be killed as soon as he gets to Westeros. That's just how Game of Thrones is. And I'm telling you, Season 6 is going to remind you why everyone first hesitates on watching Game of Thrones, which is like, isn't that the show? This is what I said when someone first mentioned to me. Isn't that, they were like, oh, dude, have you heard about this show called Game of Thrones? There's like dragons and shit and like zombies. It's like all the shows that you like combined into one. Have you heard about it? I was like, yeah, isn't that the show where everyone fucking dies? Like, all the main characters die, and they were like, yup. And I was like, yup. And then I started watching it, and then I was like, yup. And I'm telling you, Season 7 is going to remind you. People are going to be dropping like flies. Like, I honestly would not be surprised if the only people that are alive are the people that are in the main billing cast. Like, the people that they contractually, that Dan and Dave are contractually obligated to keep on for a whole nother season, like, because they signed a fucking contract. They legally can't die. Now they might die, and then they'll still be in next season because they'll be shown with the pretty little stones over their faces, which in my opinion are so silly. Those are so funny when they do that. It's like a joke. I remember when Joffrey, all right, so let me check out the chat. Andy Perkins says, so glad to have a live talk about some GOT. Hell yeah, man. There's still, I think, I'll say this. I say within the next month, maybe month and a half, everyone's going to pop back around. I went and looked at all. First of all, YouTube unsubscribed me from 15 motherfucking channels. And the only reason why I'm just now realizing this is because I assumed that everyone else went like me, which was basically we all went hybrid after, which means like we'll randomly upload a video. There's like 15 of us that all did that. Like some of us completely stopped putting out content altogether. Some of us are like me. I tried to do like 3 a month. I tried to like do 3 back-to-back a month, and then that failed. And then all of December, I just didn't even put out a video. And then I realized I looked at my AdSense account and I was like, oh shit, I'm not even gonna, I won't be paid from YouTube probably for like the next 4 months, but that's fine because like I work on the video so little it doesn't actually affect me where I don't feel entitled to a paycheck because it doesn't even feel like work. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so anyway, YouTube unsubscribed me to these people because either it was because they weren't uploading or just because it was purging, and apparently they thought someone like me, who, not to brag, but I have 1 million views on YouTube. I don't know why they would think my account is spam or think that I'm a fake subscriber to a YouTube channel's subscriber. Like, basically, not only has YouTube purged me of, like, at this point, 200 subs, and I'm sure some people unsubscribed probably because I wasn't uploading or because I uploaded something that they didn't agree with, which is fine. I don't really give a shit. But YouTube purged my subscriber base, and they unsubscribed me from lots of fucking channels. So I have to go back and, like, I daily check to these 10, 15 people that I resubscribe to. I have to daily check to make sure I'm still subscribed to them. For instance, this happened, like, today. The other day when I found Talking Thrones probably like a month ago, but I subscribed to him when we started communicating on Twitter, which was, like, literally 3 or 4 days ago. Went back and looked today, unfucking subscribed. Unsubscribed. Mind you, I don't even log into YouTube at all anymore. Like, I get on YouTube when I want to watch Philip DeFranco and Casey Neistat's video, and I have notifications turned on for them. So when they upload, I fucking know. You know what I'm saying? There's a few more channels I have notifications turned on to, but whatever. So when that happens, that's when I get on YouTube. I'm not on YouTube at all after that. You know what I mean? Or unless I just upload and I'm waiting to respond to the first couple people's comments. You know what I mean? YouTube, fuck you. Like, seriously. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for saying that. But YouTube is screw. That shit pissed me off. That's honestly, once I saw that, I'm like, how am I losing subscribers and I'm like not even uploading? You know what I mean? Or like whenever I do upload, usually my sub count goes up, but then it goes down. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck, dude? I don't know what that is. I don't know. And I know I'm like mad late in the game talking about the shit, but whatever. Pissed me off. Alright, so back to what I was saying. Talking Thrones says, what will Jaime do when Dany invades Westeros with Tyrion by her side? You gotta check out my plot leak videos, man. I talked about that. I basically, and me and this cat, I don't know if you've heard of him before. You should go check him out. Everybody go check him out. But you in particular, Talking Thrones, he's this YouTuber named named Moji. Me and him did a live stream where we basically talked about, like, for like 15 minutes about what will be Jaime and Cersei's reaction when Tyrion hops off the fucking boat like, yo, what up? I am now ruling across the sea. Last time you guys saw me, I was in a courtroom, and I just told everyone how I hate them. Like, now, Jaime, you let me go. I killed Dad, but look, I'm back, and I've got 3 dragons and this silver-haired queen over here. What you gonna do? But yeah, I honestly think that hopefully you guys heard everything I said about the YouTube thing and it didn't cut my audio out, because if it did, that could easily be misconstrued into making it sound like I said something very negative, but I didn't. I was basically just talking about how YouTube shit on me for a good amount of time, and I put in a lot of fucking work into this channel. But yeah, so anyway, damn, I completely forgot what I was talking about. Okay, so yeah, what's gonna happen? This is answering Talking Thrones question. I think Tyrion at first, Jaime is gonna be pissed to see him, but I think Cersei is just gonna stay, like sulking the entire time. She's gonna win the truth. I think Jaime will get over it, and eventually Jaime and Tyrion will meet in private. They'll have a discussion where, they'll basically be like, look, dude, Tyrion will say to Jaime, look, she's serious. Word. I just saw that pop up. That's awesome. Yeah, so Mo. Yeah, he's a good one to get into. I know me and him are going to be, I haven't talked to him about it in a while, and I hope he's still down, but me and him are going to be doing some Walking Dead content coming up when Walking Dead comes back in about 2 weeks, which is part of the reason why I started doing my Game of Thrones live streams again. I want to make sure I have all my shit ready to go, because when Walking Dead comes out, my content is pretty much back to full time. I actually took off time to be able to devote to my channel again. I want to bring it back up so that way when season 7 comes around, I can start making money again. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, for real. So yeah, I think basically Tyrion's gonna be like, look, Jaime, Daenerys is serious. She's got the forces, the manpower, the fucking dragons to take you down. Take Cersei, go back to, I always forget the name of where they're from, Casterly Rock, and kind of wait it out. We're gonna be up here. Let us take King's Landing. You need to take all the troops you have. We don't need to lose lives. And once again, this is Tyrion's conversation with Jaime. This is Tyrion reasoning to Jaime. Like, look, you don't need to lose the Lannister soldiers you have. You need them to help protect you if we fail in keeping the White Walkers up north and they make their way down south. So if that happens, you need all the guards you do. Or all the guards you have. Don't make this a huge battle. Go home. Take her with you and sneak if you have to, knock her out, make her go unconscious, and then, take her with you. Let's avoid this battle. And of course, Jaime will be like, man, I appreciate you trying to look out for me, but we've got a good army too. And honestly, I don't know what his reaction will be if he sees the dragons, because if he sees the dragons, he's gonna know, she's not bullshitting, And that's the thing. I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to go down where Tyrion takes a convoy and meets with Cersei or Jaime, and then Tyrion gets ambushed, and then Daenerys then shows up, and, I'm not sure. Andy, you did start a channel. You had a couple videos out for a little bit, or I saw you had a couple videos. Hang on one second. I'm about to grab some water again. All right, I'm back. But yeah, so yeah, y'all stay tuned for that. Andy Perkins is going to be dropping some videos. Gecko says, I will start a channel and talk about girls. Do it, bro. Do it. I wanted to start a fake news channel. Like, I don't want to talk about it too much, because if I decide to do it, I don't want anyone to be able to go back and watch this and be like, oh, okay. But I'm going to be blatantly honest about how fake it is. Like, the name I was thinking would be FAKE News. Like, I'll be like, good evening, folks. This is Mark coming in with FAKE News, keeping it live. Something like that. And then basically just say complete bogus headlines, like basically what Facebook does, and just spread, Facebook and Donald Trump just spread fake-ass bullshit headlines, and they call it alternative facts. I just did air quotes. You guys can't see that, but I'll call it alternative facts and just make them sound like I'll just sound legit as possible, say it with a straight face. I might even buy like a suit and tie and just look super professional, and then just be like, just completely start the channel out of nowhere, and then just like try to drop one of the videos on Reddit one day and watch it blow the fuck up and get like 60,000 dislikes because all the people that went and researched it and found out it was fake. Honestly, fake news spreads faster than like researching and fact checking. You know what I'm saying? That's the society we live in. Why does it keep going back to fucking? It's like it wants to keep showing you Euron's penis. But yeah. Let me check. I'm checking the stream health. Oh, we got 16 people watching. What's up, everyone? Please slap a like on this video if you haven't already done so. Euron once. I'm just reading what Gecko's saying, dude. He's being funny. People that are going back and watching this, don't worry. We'll start. I'll get back on focus here. Let me pull up my little chart. All right. So hopping back on this game train, Bran will cross the wall during episode 1. He will arrive in Winterfell by episode 3. So apparently his meeting with Daenerys Ed is not very long. Maybe lasts like 2-3 scenes, and then by episode 3, he supposedly makes it to Winterfell. The Lannisters take on the Martells and the Tyrells pretty easily during the first couple episodes. Jaime turns out, we all know he's got a shit ton of battle experience, so obviously he would make a great commander. It seems that Dany and company have an unsuccessful siege of King's Landing, so that must mean she split up her troops. That's the only way that she could not take out King's Landing. Dude, 3 dragons, 10,000 Dothraki on, what was it, 100 ships, 150 ships? I don't know, how many did Yara steal from Theon, plus what she already had, so... That's a pretty good fucking war fleet. You know, the 3 dragons alone is enough to take Westeros. So she had to have split up her fleet. But yeah, so Jon needs to find proof that zombies are real. So he goes beyond the wall with the Hound, Beric, Thoros, Tormund, and to capture one. Now, where is Melisandre in all this? That's my question, is because my big prediction, like, I can say this safely because, you know, back when I put this video out, I was still very much in YouTube, and I knew when people were dropping videos, but I was like, yo, look, I totally see her running into the Brotherhood without banners. And it sounds like, according to this plot leak, that doesn't happen. Maybe she either doesn't show back up, or when she does, it's a little bit after this. But yeah, so they succeed, but Beric and Viserion die in the process. My question is, how did Viserion go with him? Like, is that when Dany shows up and then Viserion is the one that she rode and killed? So now somehow Dany just having only flown Drogon a few times, now she can fly Viserion too? I could see that. He'd be like, look, I want my mom to, you know, hop on me too, I guess. Then it's revealed that Cersei is pregnant. I don't know why I laughed at that, but yeah, so basically she has a miscarriage, and the scene shows, like, she wakes up and realizes that she just had a miscarriage. Euron's fleet destroys Yara's, and Euron kills 2 of the Sand Snakes and captures Arya. Honestly, I wanted him to kill Arya because of how that scream that she had, you know, when, like, when Oberyn's head popped. I have that stuck. It was stuck in my head for a while, and, like, and she's also kind of annoying. Like, just going back to season 5, there was no reason for... Well, I mean, there was a reason for her to kill Marcella, but Marcella was innocent. And I honestly wanted to see where they took her as a character. Like, what, you know. But yeah, so anyway. There we go. Melisandre only has a few appearances throughout the season. See, I was hoping she would meet up with the Brotherhood without banners, and she would, like, take off her glamour, and she would just go and sort of be like an old man who... you know, later reveals herself that she's also an old red priestess. And no one knows because no one's seen her without her disguise. That would be awesome. I think Davos would fucking find out. Davos would probably be the first one to find out, you know, who she is. He would be Scooby-Doo detective all over that and find out. Tyrion and Jon do have a few scenes together. And Mira heads back home after she delivers Bran at Winterfell. And then this part probably is left out in the plot leak, but she probably dies on her way home because, like I was saying, everyone's going to be dying this season. Oh, so it's like... Is it buffering then? Because sometimes the audio cuts out when I go get some water. That's usually that happens. I'm reading the chat for anyone going back and rewatching this. All right. Yeah, Talking Thrones. I recommend you go check out. What's your name, man? Like, what's your actual name? So that way I don't have to feel like I'm calling you an object. Hey, you, talking chair. No. What's your name? So that way we can call you. Or if you don't feel comfortable telling us your name, that's fine. But yeah, I definitely recommend The Walking Dead, man. That show is awesome. Honestly, I did the right way because I really enjoyed, well, there were like 3 episodes of the first 8 of Walking The Walking Dead this past season that I were like, God damn it, why are we spending all this time? Like the one with Tara and Heath. Didn't enjoy that one so much. But yeah, which is why I stopped making reviews. That, and I tried to go live after episode 1 and it fucked up and it really pissed me off. And that's why I was like, nah, I'm not going to do it again. But yeah, no, I think it's my stream, which I don't know why because I'm using a wired connection. So yeah, you should check that out. Definitely recommend The Walking Dead. It's a good show. Also recommend Westworld. I actually just finished. I binge watched all 10 episodes again yesterday. Hadn't watched it since the first time I watched it through when they aired. Yeah, man, I didn't start watching Game of Thrones until 2013 or 2014. Like, it was either like, I think it was a few episodes into, like, episode 4 is when I started watching, but I just watched that one episode and then immediately went back and rewatched like all 3 seasons that I'd missed. Gecko's on a ball tonight, dude. He said his name is Talking Man. Talking Man. That's a good one. Nope, it's Dan. All right, cool. So Dan the man. Yeah, his channel is awesome, dude. His channel was blowing the fuck up. His channel is blowing up, dude. You were getting hella views. I remember when, like, I think I was like that, like, probably, like, 2 weeks after, 2 weeks after the show ended, when everyone was just desperate to get views, or when everyone was desperate to watch Game of Thrones content. I just put out a video like every couple of days. I didn't even put I put effort into it, but not that much effort, and they would just blow up because everyone was like, oh man, the fucking show's in. Now to be able to get views at this time, you gotta be putting in some work, and I kind of slacked on that. But yeah, there are a shit ton of good channels out there, like all the ones that were blowing up, and like that I had known about back in season 6. We all, like I said, everyone went hybrid. Like, they'll put out a video every once in a while. Like, someone who went super hybrid, and I'm not calling her out if she does watch this. I don't know if she watches my videos anymore. But Because Geek, she went super hybrid, man. Her video, she put out, I think she's put out probably like three or four videos since the season end. I was like, damn. I was looking forward to more of her videos. I think she has a lot going on, though, I think. Like, she probably got a lot on her plate. Dan from Talking Thrones says, yes, Jaime will kill some Tyrells and possibly Dothraki with Widow's Wail, which is his sword, when he takes Highgarden and gets ambushed by Dany. See, that's the thing. How is Dany getting all over the place? Like, this season is going to be crazy. How is Dany going to save Jon? That's what makes me think that we're getting, like, the pictures, and the person who wrote the plot leak was following, because by the time they wrote the plot leak, they had been filming for a month. So parts of it, it's obvious to guess. And then there's also like 3 or 4 different versions. I know the plot leak that I did my videos on, I added to it to make it sound better. You know what I mean? So there's like 3 or 4 different versions of the plot leak. There's the original Reddit comment, then there's, the videos on YouTube, then there's people's interpretations, and yeah. Westworld is good. Gecko says, I watched Breaking Bad. I wasn't impressed. Then I watched The Wire. That was a really quality show. Yeah, I like The Wire. I watched that. I used to watch that back in the day, man. I watched that back in like 2009. I watched that when I moved to Philly for summer. Well, I was there for a whole year, but I moved back up there because I was homeless and I wanted to go live with my grandma instead of living on the streets. Nah, that's legit exactly what happened. But that's when I was watching The Wire. She used to watch it. Alright, so Brooke Arnold says Westworld was good. Hell yeah, 2 years. 2 years is when Westworld is coming out. I was like, are they shitting us? Hopefully, I'm hoping that it will be out early 2018 or maybe even the end of this year's. I hope that HBO has learned their lesson with Game of Thrones as far as everything fucking leaking, and they're keeping their filming schedule secret. You can't keep anything a secret with Game of Thrones. Keep Westworld secretive. We already predicted, well, a lot of people predicted that alternate timeline theory from episode 1. So yes, I'm a huge fan of lying to us intentionally, and I think that's what they're doing. I think they've already started writing the script. I think they've started choosing filming locations. I think they've even gone as far as filmed a few scenes. I just think that they're telling us that it's going to be not till 2018 to throw us off their trail so we don't start sneaking and finding out. I think they film in New Mexico in the Grand Canyon or some shit like that. So if it's in America, we'll get it. Although Game of Thrones films in Europe, and Europeans are the ones who seem to be able to get more of the spoilers out. So yeah, I withdraw my statement. Brian Whitwer says Howland Reed. I think it's your spell check or something, but it's Howland Reed, and it says Holland. But anyway, Howland Reed in show might not show up unless Muir brings him out of hiding. Yeah, like basically when she goes home, maybe that's why the plot leak mentioned that. If we're saying that at this point, if we're saying the plot leak is legit, maybe that's why it's mentioned. And like that was one of the spoilers it left out, was like the fact that when she gets home, we see her getting home, and then bam, Howland Reed. And then he explains, obviously, what would be interesting if the show changed it around, or if the information was missing from the books and they somehow made it canon and connected it, or George somehow went back and connected it. What? Hang on, sorry, I just started reading the plot video. Talking Thrones says, what? Nah, man, that's not what I was trying to say, Dan. I was trying to say that, like, all of the people that were making the season 6 videos, after it ended, everyone kind of went hybrid. It's kind of like, they were still making videos, but I'm not saying that that void is the reason why you got subs. Not at all. I didn't mean to say that. That void is the reason why the Harpy got subs. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Nah. You got subscribers because you make quality content, plain and simple. Just like that. That's the reason why I got subscribers, is because I made quality content. You know what I mean? People don't subscribe to you because they feel like you're just a filler. If that was the case, you wouldn't have as loyal of a subscriber base that you do, where like when you put out a video, all of your subs watch your video. You know what I mean? I kind of lost that. I had it, but then I stopped putting out videos. You know what I mean? I put YouTube on the back burner. I started working, needed, like money every 2 weeks as opposed to once a week, and only getting like $100 when I got paid. You know what I mean? Like I tried to work as much possible on YouTube, but then you make so little, it makes it like, At first, it was definitely a hobby, and then it kind of be like, what makes it fun is like, yeah, it's still a hobby, but it also helps to get paid. And then once you stop making as much, for me at least, I can't speak for anyone else, but I know, once I stopped getting as many views, and also it's like a reward in the sense that you see you made something. It might be based on something else that you didn't make, but you made the video, and people like your content. That's like an ego boost for me. So when that stops happening, when YouTube stops, and when you stop getting that kind of feedback, and honestly it was my fault, it's because I stopped putting out content as regular. The main trick, which put out content every day, you know what I mean? And then you'll build that base up. But yeah, so yeah, I didn't mean that in that sense, like, yeah, okay. Brooke says, still gotta watch your greatest leak of all time. What's that? That must be an old video. Season 6 video. Yeah, Barrick. Yeah, dude. That would be nuts. If I'm not mistaken, I can look it up real quick. I don't want to say it wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, Barrick basically sacrifices himself and gives the kiss of life to Jon, and then is subsequently killed right after that. Alright, let me check the stream health. I'm going to be wrapping this up just so anyone that does want to go back and watch it can watch it. I'll take however many questions you guys send through within the next couple of minutes. I'll answer those, and I'm going to be hopping off this. Yeah, I started watching Vikings, Andy, and I was going to make a video about it, but then I remembered that when I made Game of Thrones in Walking Dead videos, people like to put spoilers in the comments, and I actually, to be honest, I kind of stopped watching it once Westworld came out, And I recently started watching it again, but then I started watching Black Mirror on Netflix, which is also a really good show. So, but yeah, no, I've seen like the first 3 seasons of Vikings. I started watching it because you and like 2 or 3 other people on Twitter, Ashley, one of my subscribers, you guys all recommended it, and I started to watch it. It's pretty good. It's nothing like Game of Thrones, but it's pretty good. I like. I'm excited for. I don't know if you guys ever seen this show. It's a BBC show. It's called The Last Kingdom. It's based on like our actual history. A lot of it's somewhat made up, but basically it's the same story that Vikings is telling. It's just more historical. You know what I mean? Vikings kind of went on their own crazy tangent after a while, but they tried to stick, to somewhat true facts. But this show, The Last Kingdom, they try to do like the straight story of Ragnar and his sons, and like one of them was a Dane, and then he got raised by a Viking. It's really good. I recommend that to you guys. But yeah, I am watching Vikings right now. I'm in the middle of watching a few different TV shows. The Magicians. I'll check that out. Talking Thrones Dan from Talking Thrones says, will Dany die at the wall like most people will interpret her vision? Stranger Things, sorry, I'm going to come back to that. Chris Mason, Stranger Things is awesome. Stranger Things is like, until Westworld came out, was my favorite TV show of 2016. Obviously, Game of Thrones excluded because that is my favorite TV show of all time. But Stranger Things is amazing. I cannot wait till season 2. Stranger Things, it reminded me of the Goonies. It reminded me of The Thing. It reminded me of all of, like, I wasn't born in the 80s, but I was alive in the 80s because I was born on the first day of the 90s. So I spent 9 months of my life in the 80s. And ever since I was a kid, every time I watch like an 80s horror movie, it just makes me nostalgic to a time period when I wasn't even fucking alive. But that's how much I love the 80s. And that being said, I love Stranger Things. But yeah, Dany, I hope, will not die at the wall. I think what her vision is, and what the House of the Undying vision, what it means basically, is that when she finally gets what's promised to her, which is the Iron Throne, or when she finally takes back what her family claimed, it will be ash, and winter will have come, so it will be meaningless. You know what I mean? So when she receives the throne, it's going to be pointless, and that's what that vision was trying to tell her. Like, stop chasing the throne. There's other things to worry about. Like, of course, you need to go to Westeros, which is what the dream is showing her. Like, it's a vision. Go to Westeros, and we're just talking about show, House of the Undying. I'm not really talking about the books right now. But yeah, so that's what it's showing. They're showing it's her desire. Like, yeah, go to Westeros, but there's more. You can either interpret it as ash, which means that King's Landing is burning, which means that it's burning because she burned it down, or she burned it because there were White Walkers encroaching on it and she had to, you could interpret it as snow, and winter will come by the time she takes it, or it's trying to remind her that even though you want the throne, winter is here, so you need to, change your goals. You need to focus on the fact that winter is here. What does that mean? You know what I mean? Meet up with the Stark boy, sleep with him because he's secretly your nephew. Make lots of little Joffreys running around. All right, so we have a question from Hope Durham, and she says, how do you think the bittersweet ending will go down? Well, there's multiple different ways. One of the ways that I was saying earlier, the bittersweet, could be that all 3 dragons will die, as well as 7 of the main cast members, and we're only left with like 2 or 3 people that might not be our favorites, but we'll still be so happy to see them alive because we've lost so much. That could be the bittersweet ending. Or the bittersweet ending is that everyone dies, and the only, like, every single main character we know dies, like either on the way to the battle for Dawn, or on the way to the battle for the Dawn, or like in the process of the last couple episodes, and the only people that are left to kind of live on the story are the civilians of Westeros, like the people, you know what I mean? The people who, honestly, the greatest characters on the show, that's who they focus on. Jon Snow, Ned Stark, Varys, you know what I mean? Those are all people that focus on the betterment of the people of Westeros. Okay, well, we won't necessarily say that, but Jon, for sure, at the wall. Ned, for the most part, obviously that's why he was trying to make sure that Cersei and her kids didn't take over Westeros, because he knew that, he was looking out for Westeros, basically, by saying that. So that will be I forgot where the fuck I was going with that, but yeah. That could be one of the bittersweet endings. Everyone dies, and the main purpose of all of it, of the giant story they were telling, was to provide a future for the lower people. And basically, if all the main people died, that would almost eliminate every single major house in Westeros. So the only ones left, mind you, there's like 90 some odd sub houses in the books that have enough, are written about enough for them to be able to be minor, to take over at the end of the books, and everyone would feel the same way about it. But I'm saying, like, in the show, if every single main character died and the only people that were left alive were the civilians, that could be another bittersweet ending. Well, snow falling in King's Landing. Yeah, I mean, but if you go back and look, like if you go back and watch the original Vision, it can be interpreted as either or. It could be ash or snow, because if I'm not mistaken, the roof has somehow collapsed in and it almost looks like it's been burned. So that's the ash falling off of it. But if we see snow on King's Landing this season, that will mean that the wall pretty much for sure came down. So snow falling on King's Landing won't be as impactful as it would have been if the wall hadn't came down yet. And it just so happens that they were that close to the wall that the upper half of Westeros, or like from King's Landing and up, is all feeling the force of the winter. You know what I mean? In places like Casterly Rock and where are the Baratheons from? The Stormlands. Places like that haven't gotten hit with winter yet. Dorne, they haven't gotten hit with winter yet. But that just means that they were close. I don't know. If the wall goes down and then we see snow falling on King's Landing, totally has the impact taken out of it. Like, it wouldn't mean as much to me as if, the wall was still up and the White Walkers were encroaching on the wall. I think the wall coming down shouldn't be until season 8, just because we only have 6 seasons. Let's finish out the rest of these character arcs. Let's go back and circle back to characters who haven't been on for a while so we can kill them off. Let's tie up all these loose ends in the season with the wall coming down, or snow falling on King's Landing, and then the White Walkers are showing up at the wall and they blow the horn of Jormon, which, that sounds very fanboy, but that would be dope. I would love to see that. But if there aren't any more questions, like I said, I'm going to wrap this up. Yeah. All right, well, yeah. I'll take one more question. But yeah, I want to thank you all so much for watching. I'm still going to take that question if it pops up. Please slap a like on this video. Make sure you go check out. I think I've given out like 4 or 5 shout outs, but I'll repeat those real quick so you guys can all go check them out. One of them's still in the chat right now, Talking Thrones. Go subscribe to his channel if you aren't already. Make sure you turn on notifications so you can get notified every time he uploads. He uploads several times a week. So if you're missing, go check him out. If you're missing out, make sure you go fix that. All right. Joe Swag says thanks for streaming. No doubt. If I'm not mistaken, you are a Patreon. Thank you, sir. Glad you could join by and enjoy this. I'm working on a Jon Snow video, like I was saying at the beginning of the live stream. It should be out within the next couple of days. I'm wrapping it up as we speak. And no, it's not going to sound like super fast like my last one, which was one giant breath. But yeah. So yeah, go check out. Yeah, I hope we don't get a zombified dragon either. I'll honestly be pretty let down if that does happen. It would be cool as hell to see, and if they do it right, I might be just jumping the gun a little bit, and it's awesome. And then when I do see it, it'll be one of my favorite things ever. But right now, just from what the way that it's supposed to set up, the way it's supposed to go down, I wouldn't be down with that. Arya's body count in season 7 will reach like 30. She's supposed to take out all the Freys, man. Snow is far down on the twins. Well, if it falls in King's Landing, yes. I guess that was the last question. Snowfall. Yep. If it falls in King's Landing. Really? I have my audio up. That's weird. Maybe it's just, I don't know. See, this is why. But yeah. All right. So yeah. Those people that I was giving the shout out to, make sure you go check out Talking Thrones. He's in the chat right now. Also, make sure you go check out, or be on the lookout for Kyle's Fucking Chickens and Talking Thrones. They're supposed to be doing a live stream with Don Willie. All of us, we're supposed to try to get doing. So make sure you guys go check out Don Willie, Kyle's Fucking Chickens. And also, I forgot, I mentioned Hype's Watch earlier. They're that when I was referencing how there's certain types of super hardcore fans who have read the book 6 and 7 times, and like mainly everyone from that group has done so. So yeah, if you guys want, I haven't looked at their channel in months. I don't know if they've put any content out recently. I'm sure they have. I'm sure they've done some sort of. They do like the read-alongs, like the book reading. So, but yeah, there's lots of Game of Thrones content out there. Just gotta find it. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Goodbye from the U.S. 4 a.m. Damn, dude, go to sleep. But yeah, when do you think the wall will come down? All right. I hope. I said it earlier, but I hope it's the end of season 8. Like, I hope it's, or not the end of season 8, not like the very last episode. I hope it's the end of season 7. Like, and I hope it just falls down. Like, there's nothing that happens after that. We have to wait until season 8 to find out what happens. That would be a perfect cliffhanger. That's how I hope it goes down. All right, but yeah, so like I was saying, I want to thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you haven't already done so, please slap a like on this video. Make sure you go subscribe to those people I mentioned. Those people are Kyle's Fucking Chickens, Talking Thrones. Damn it, I said it again. Kyle's Fucking Chickens, Talking Thrones, Don Willie, and Hype's Watch. If I'm not mistaken, those are all the people that I mentioned. Everyone else, you guys already know. My name's Mark, and this has been Sir Hunts. I'll see you all later. Hope you all have a good night.